Today's headlines. Duterte eases face shield policy in select areas. Philippines among top APAC performers in third quarter. Ghost presidential bid united allies according to Matibag. Isko, 50% of minors vaxxed. NCR, under alert level 1 possible. DENR urges, practice proper waste management. Sudan military detains Jazeera TV chief. South Africa withdraws support for Miss Universe contender. Good morning, I'm Roy Palovelio and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Today is November 16, 2021 and here are the latest news of this Tuesday morning. President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the Pandemic Task Force's proposal to lift the policy on the mandatory use of face shield in select areas. Duterte's office on Monday issued a memorandum addressed to the Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF, which stated the new protocols on face shields use that would take effect immediately. Under the memorandum, face shields are now voluntary in areas under alert levels 1, 2, and 3. The President, meanwhile, authorized local government units in areas under alert level 4 to decide whether they would require the use of the said COVID-19 gear in their jurisdictions. Face shields, according to the memo, would remain mandatory in areas classified under alert level 5, enhanced community quarantine, and granular lockdowns. Ahead of Malacanang's announcement, however, some mayors already scrapped the face shield mandate. These include cities of Manila, Muntinlupa, Cebu, Iloilo, Davao, and Tarlac, in which local executives cited the low number of COVID-19 cases in their areas. The Health Department, however, has long insisted that wearing the two protective gears and following physical distancing rules can decrease the risk of acquiring COVID-19 by more than 90%. The Philippines is among the top economic performance in the Asia-Pacific region in the third quarter, even beating heavyweights like Japan and China, with a robust 7.1% gross domestic product growth amid the lingering impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Data from Moody's Analytics' latest Asia-Pacific Weekly Review confirmed the sustained upward trend of the Philippine economy. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas said over the weekend the domestic economy could return to the pre-pandemic level in the third quarter of 2022, citing the accelerated vaccine rollout, decreasing COVID-19 cases, and anticipated higher labor force participation rate in the coming months. Comparatively, the Philippines fared better than Japan, which contracted 0.7% in the year's third quarter, following a 0.5% expansion in the prior quarter. However, Moody's Analytics added that the country's core annual inflation remained unchanged at 0.1% in October. Thailand also contracted 1.1% during the period, after expanding 0.4% in the previous quarter. Malaysia is the biggest underperformer in the last quarter, posting a bigger-than-expected 3.6% contraction, following a near 2% decline from April to June 2021. Meanwhile, Moody's Analytics added that China's inflation surprised on the upside, as consumer prices grew by 1.5% in yearly terms in October on the back of solid gains in food and energy prices. Over the month, prices rose by 0.7%, marking the steepest increase since February. The causal factors were extreme weather, surging fuel prices, elevated input costs, and COVID-19 flare-ups across two-thirds of China's provincial regions. Senator Christopher Lawrence Bongo's presidential bid in the 2022 national elections served as the force that consolidated the ruling party, PDP Laban Secretary General Melvin Matibag said on Monday. In an interview at the morning radio TV program of Daily Tribune's Gising Na, aired over DZRJ Teleradio Bandido TV and RJ 810 AM, Matibag admitted that some PDP Laban members expressed concern over the uncertainty in the party's standard bearers for the upcoming polls. Matibag underscored that GO and President Rodrigo Duterte remain committed to the sentiments of the members around the country. Last Saturday, PDP Palawan President and Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi issued an open letter to the ruling party's members through Matibag, assuring them that nothing has changed, including their objective to secure victory in the coming national and local elections. Duterte Carpio, however, filed her candidacy for vice president, while GO gunned for the presidency under PDDS. Later that day, Matibag revealed that the president is running for senator under PDDS. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. At least 50% of minors who have pre-registered to receive the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 vaccines in the city of Manila have already been administered the jabs, Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Domagoso said Monday, as he lauded the efforts of Vice Mayor Hani Lacuna and the Manila Health Department to implement the government's vaccination drive for minors aged 12 to 17. The feat has been accomplished in less than 2 weeks since the mass inoculation of minors started against the dreaded virus that has already killed millions around the world, Domagoso said. A candidate for president in next year's election, Domagoso reiterated that just like in the city's vaccination of the general population, from medical workers to senior citizens, persons with comorbidities, and essential workers, even minors not residing in Manila are welcome to register for COVID-19 jabs in the capital city. Meanwhile, Domagoso also lauded the Manila Police District under Police Brigadier General Leo Francisco for maintaining peace and order amid the easing up of alert level restrictions. A more relaxed alert level may be in store by December for Metro Manila residents, workers, and students, the Department of Health said Monday. Health Undersecretary Rosario Vergere said in a virtual media briefing that Metro Manila has been able to meet most of the requirements needed for it to be de-escalated to Alert Level 1. Data from the DOH show that Metro Manila is under the low-risk classification for COVID-19 with a 3.01 average daily attack rate per 100,000 population. The overall healthcare utilization rate of the NCR also stood at a low-risk classification of 34%, with beds utilization at 26.55%, mechanical ventilators utilization at 21.09%, and intensive care units at 30.72%. Vergere said that the NCR has met the target vaccination rate among senior citizens and its target population. However, she noted that it has yet to meet the required vaccination rate requirements for persons with comorbidities. Vergere also said that the safety seals will also be one of the metrics for de-escalation of an area by the country's pandemic task force. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources called on residents of this region to practice proper waste management. A central zone is expected to generate 1,772,660 kilos of waste by the end of 2021. DENR Regional Information Officer Donaver Guevara stressed that the call for proper waste management is aimed at giving better information to local leaders and barangay officials on how to reduce waste generation and protect rivers from pollution. He added that they intend to involve local leaders in curbing municipal waste problems by encouraging their constituents to segregate their trash at home and to reduce their consumption of single-use plastics. Aside from the usual waste generated, waste caused by the COVID-19 pandemic has also been on the rise, with medical waste such as the mask, face shields, and personal protective equipment, or PPE, produced more than 400 kilos. Guevara noted that these hazardous waste should be separated from the household waste, citing that these are considered hazardous and pose danger to health and the environment. This year, the DENR has already conducted 72 environmental education lectures using a blended approach of online platforms and face-to-face interaction, participated in by more than 2,000 local government leaders. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.
You're still watching Tribune News on Q. In foreign news, Sudanese security forces have arrested the bureau chief of Qatari-based Jazeera TV, the network said Sunday, a day after the latest crackdown on anti-coup protesters left at least 6 dead. Al Jazeera strongly condemned the reprehensible actions of the military, called for its bureau chief's immediate release, and for its journalists to be able to work unhindered without fear or intimidation. The network, which authorities ordered shut for about 3 months after former autocratic President Omar Bashir's removal, defended the professionalism of its reporting. Al Jazeera has given prominent coverage to demonstrations against the 25 October power grab. But last week, it also aired a detailed interview with top General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan. Other media outlets besides Al Jazeera have been targeted since the putsch, when Burhan declared a state of emergency, detained the civilian leadership, and removed the government installed after the April 2019 military ouster of Bashir. Burhan, the de facto head of state since Bashir fell, has sacked the heads of Sudan's state television and the official news agency. Meanwhile, 5 were shot dead while 1 died from suffocation by tear gas, according to medics who have recorded a total of 21 killed since the coup almost 3 weeks ago. Among those killed were 2 teenagers, according to a medics union. Over 50 people were arrested during the protests on Saturday, lawyer Ina Amatik said Sunday. Prosecutors ordered their release, but the police have taken them to an unknown location. The government of South Africa said on Sunday it was dissociating itself from a decision by the reigning Miss SA to take part in the annual Miss Universe in Israel. The decision came after growing calls for the reigning Miss South Africa to boycott the pageant over Israel's alleged atrocities against Palestine. Local beauty pageant organizers have been adamant that the recently crowned Miss SA Lalela Mswane should go. The government therefore withdraws its support following the organizers' intransigence. The pageant is slated for Eilat, Israel on 12 December this year. SA backs the Palestinian cause with formal diplomatic relations established in 1995, a year after the end of apartheid. It downgraded its embassy in Tel Aviv in 2019 and pulled out its ambassador. Forging ahead could prove disastrous to her future and public standing as a young black woman, warned Arts Minister Nathi Metwenta. In a statement, the ruling African National Congress Party urged the organizer to hear and listen to the overwhelming call for the Miss South Africa team to boycott the upcoming apartheid Israel-hosted Miss Universe. That wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the following: SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Araneta Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Roy Palavelio and Tribune News on Q, reminding you that we only have 39 days until Christmas. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Chris masaya, pagsama-sama.